Destroy them with your silence. It is a weapon more powerful than words, more devastating than screams. Silence is not the absence of action, it is the loudest response you can give to a world that feeds on noise. While they throw insults and mockery, waiting for you to break, you stay still, unshaken. Do you know what silence does to your enemies? It burns them. It unsettles them. They begin to question themselves, their power, their words. When you argue, give them fuel. When you react, you give them control. But when you stay silent, you rob them of their power. They expect you to fight back, to crumble, to cry out in desperation. Instead, you stand tall and quiet. And in that quiet, you become terrifying. There is no greater strength than the ability to hold your tongue when the world is begging you to speak. You see, silence is not surrender. It is strategy. It is the art of keeping them guessing, of showing them that their words hold no weight. Let them laugh. Let them scream. Let them call you weak. Your silence is not for them, it is for you. It is your fortress, your shield, your proof that you do not need to prove anything. The world thrives on chaos, on noise, on endless chatter that drowns out reason. But you will be the calm in the storm, the one they cannot shake. They will watch as their words fall to the ground, powerless against your silence. And when the time comes, you will speak, but only when your voice can shake the ground beneath them. Until then, let them burn in the fire of your silence. You look at yourself for a moment, truly look. You have allowed the world to chain you with its noise, its judgments, and its endless opinions. Every whisper of doubt, every cruel word, and every mocking laugh has found a home in your mind. They do not live there rent-free. You have given them space, welcomed them even, and allowed them to set the rules of your life. You feel anger bubbling beneath your skin, do you not? It is there, simmering quietly, begging to be unleashed. But instead of using it, you let it control you. It becomes your leash, pulling you in directions you do not want to go. You lash out when you should have held steady, or worse, you swallow it down and let it eat you alive. Anger is not your enemy, but you have turned it into one because you have never learned to wield it. And what about fear? Oh, fear is a cunning beast, is it not? It whispers in your ear that you are not good enough, that you will fail, that the world will laugh at you if you try. Fear does not need to roar, it thrives in your hesitation, in your indecision. Every time you hesitate, every time you doubt, fear grows stronger, wrapping its claws tighter around your mind. Then there is sadness, that heavy weight you carry in your chest. You feel it, do you not? It pulls you down, makes you question why you even bother. Sadness is like quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper it pulls you in. And yet you hold on to it, clinging to the very thing that is drowning you. These emotions, anger, fear, sadness, are not inherently bad. They are raw, primal forces of nature. But the problem is not the emotions themselves, it is how you let them control you. You give them power they do not deserve. You let anger blind you, fear paralyze you, and sadness consume you. Instead of mastering these emotions, you allow them to master you. But it is not just emotions, is it? It is the people around you, the ones who know exactly where to dig their claws. They throw words like daggers, knowing exactly where they will hurt the most. And you let them. Every insult, every judgment, every condescending glance, you let it burrow into your soul. You give them the satisfaction of seeing you hurt, seeing you doubt yourself. You have allowed the world to make you its puppet. Every string is tied to something, the opinions of others, your own fears, your past failures. You dance to the world's tune, never realizing that you have the scissors to cut those strings. And yet, here you are, stuck in the same cycle. You fight back with words, with reactions, thinking that if you scream loud enough they will stop. But they never stop, do they? The louder you scream, the harder they push, because they know they have you. Every reaction, every emotional outburst is proof that they are in control. The problem is not just them, it is you. You give them power. You let their words and actions dictate your mood, your choices, your life. You hand over the keys to your own mind and wonder why you feel trapped. So here you stand, shackled by your own emotions, your own fears, and the opinions of others. You are not free. Not yet. But freedom is not out of reach. The first step is seeing the chains for what they are. And now you do. Why do you let them win? Why do you hand over your power so easily, like it means nothing? You know exactly who I am talking about. The ones who mock you, who dismiss you, who push you to the edge and then laugh as you fall. They see your pain, your anger, your fear, and they feed off it. And you, instead of cutting them off, feed them more. You react, you shout, you argue. You try so desperately to make them see your worth, to make them understand your pain. But here is the truth, one you will not like. They do not care. They do not care about your tears. They do not care about your anger. They do not care about you. They only care about the power they have over you, the control they exert with every word and every action. Do you think crying will make them stop? Do you think lashing out will make them back down? It will not. They want you to react. They thrive on your outbursts. Every time you lose control, you show them that their words work, that their games are effective. You are handing them victory on a silver platter. And it is not just them, is it? It is the voice inside your own head. That little whisper that tells you that you are not good enough, that you are too weak, too broken, too far gone to change. You listen to it, believe it. Let it dictate your life. You let your own mind become your greatest enemy. But why? Why do you let this happen? You are not helpless. You are not a victim. You are not a slave to their opinions or to your own fears. You have power, more power than you realize. The problem is that you are too afraid to use it. You are afraid of what they will think, afraid of standing alone, afraid of failing. So instead of taking control, you stay in the shadows, letting the world dictate your path. You call it humility, patience, or even wisdom, but deep down, you know it is fear. Fear of stepping out of line. Fear of being different. Fear of being hated. And that fear has turned you into a puppet, dancing to a tune you despise. Do you not see the irony? You are so afraid of losing control that you have given it away completely. Look at yourself. Is this the life you want? A life where others pull the strings, where your emotions rule you, where you are constantly at the mercy of the world around you? No, it is not. I know it, and you know it. So why are you still here, trapped in the same cycle, making the same mistakes? You are better than this. You are stronger than this. But strength is not given, it is taken. It is earned. And you will never earn it if you keep letting your emotions and their opinions control you. You need to stop. Stop reacting. Stop arguing. Stop explaining yourself to people who are not worth the breath. Stop letting their words dictate your worth. Stop letting your own fears paralyze you. It is time to take a hard look in the mirror and ask yourself a simple question. Who is in control of your life? Is it you or is it them? If it is them, then you are already defeated. But if it is you, if you are ready to take that control back, then prove it. Prove it by refusing to play their game. Prove it by mastering your emotions instead of letting them master you. Prove it by becoming the person they fear, the person who cannot be shaken, the person who does not need their approval. The world does not bow to weakness. It bows to strength. So stop making excuses. Stop blaming others. Take control. Or do not but know this, the choice is yours. It always has been. Now that you see the chains, it is time to break them. You have spent far too long trapped by your own emotions and the opinions of others. But here is the truth. Freedom is within your grasp. You do not need anyone's permission, and you do not owe anyone an explanation. The solution is simple, but it is not easy. It starts with one word: control. Control is not about suppressing your emotions or pretending they do not exist. It is about mastering them, bending them to your will. Anger, fear, sadness, these are not your enemies. They are your tools. They are raw energy, waiting to be harnessed. When you learn to control them, they will no longer control you. Start with your anger. Anger is not a curse, it is a fire. Left unchecked, it will burn you alive. But when you learn to contain it, it becomes a forge. You can use it to sharpen your focus, to fuel your determination, to push you forward when everything else is holding you back. Do not let it explode aimlessly. Instead, channel it into something productive, something that builds you up rather than tearing you down. Next is fear. Fear has always been your jailer, but it can also be your guide. Fear shows you where your limits are. It points out the things you are afraid to face, the challenges you are hesitant to tackle. Instead of running from it, lean into it. Face it head on. Fear loses its power the moment you confront it. It stops being an obstacle and becomes a compass, guiding you toward growth. And then there is sadness. Sadness is a heavy burden. is it not? But even sadness has a purpose. It is a reminder of what matters to you, of what you have lost or what you long for. Use it to gain clarity. Let it teach you resilience. But do not let it linger. Do not let it become an anchor. Acknowledge it, learn from it, and then let it go. But control is not just about mastering your emotions. It is about taking control of your actions, your choices, and your mindset. You need to stop reacting and start acting. Stop letting the world dictate your moves and start making decisions based on your own goals and values. Do not argue with those who try to bring you down. Their opinions do not matter. Silence is your greatest weapon. It shows them that their words have no power over you. It forces them to confront their own insignificance. While they waste their energy trying to provoke you, you can serve yours, using it to build something greater. Take back control of your mind. When self-doubt creeps in, challenge it. Replace the lies with truths. You are stronger than you think, more capable than you realize, and more resilient than you give yourself credit for. Every time you silence that voice of doubt, you reclaim a piece of your power. And most importantly, take control of your time. Stop wasting it on people and situations that drain you. Focus on what matters. Focus on growth, on progress, on becoming the version of yourself that no one can break. This is the solution: control. Not suppression, not denial, but mastery. Master your emotions, master your actions, and master your mind. When you do, you become unstoppable. The world will throw its worst at you, and you will stand unshaken, unyielding. You have the power to rise above the noise, to silence the chaos, and to forge a path that is entirely your own. The question is, are you ready to take that first step? Are you ready to take control? Close your eyes for a moment and picture the person you want to become. Not the person you are now, but the one you know you could be. This version of you is unshaken by the storms of life, untouchable by the words of others. This version of you does not react with desperation or doubt, but moves with purpose, control, and quiet confidence. That person is not a dream or a fantasy. That person is you waiting to emerge. Imagine taking every ounce of pain, every scar, every insult, and turning them into weapons of strength. Your pain is not your weakness. It is your foundation. It has shaped you, forged you, and prepared you for the battles ahead. You have survived things that others could not even comprehend. You are here, breathing, standing, despite everything that tried to break you. That is power. That is resilience. Do you know what happens when you stop letting fear dictate your choices? When you stop hesitating, stop doubting yourself? You become unstoppable. Fear is only as powerful as you allow it to be. When you face it, you strip it of its hold over you. You begin to see fear for what it truly is: a shadow, an illusion that fades the moment you shine a light on it. And what about your anger? You have felt it boiling inside you, have you not? That fire, so destructive when unleashed without direction, can become your greatest ally when controlled. It can fuel your determination, push you past your limits, and ignite a passion that cannot be extinguished. Anger, when mastered, becomes a weapon no one can take from you. Sadness has lingered in your heart, pulling you down like an anchor in the deep. But even sadness has its lessons. It has taught you what matters, what you value, and what you must fight for. You do not have to let it consume you. Instead, let it guide you. Let it remind you of your strength to endure. And then let it go. You are not defined by your sadness, but by your ability to rise above it. Now, look at the people who doubted you, mocked you, or underestimated you. Picture their faces as they see you standing taller, stronger, unshaken by their words. They do not matter anymore. Their opinions are irrelevant, their insults powerless. The only thing that matters now is your own opinion of yourself. And let me tell you this, you are worthy of the strength you are about to claim. You are not a victim of life's chaos. You are its master. Picture yourself walking into every room with confidence, knowing that no one can take your power unless you give it away. Imagine making decisions, not out of fear, but out of clarity and purpose. Visualize a life where you are in control, where your emotions fuel you rather than control you. That is not a fantasy. That is your reality waiting to happen. This transformation is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming more of who you truly are. It is about peeling away the layers of doubt, fear, and weakness to reveal the strength that has been inside you all along. You do not need permission to rise. You do not need anyone to validate your worth. You are your own permission, your own validation, your own power. So, take that first step and harness the anger, face the fear, release the sadness. Become the calm in the chaos, the silence that speaks louder than any words. When you do, you will realize that the power was never out there. It was always within you. It still is. Are you ready to show the world what happens when you take control? Let them watch. Let them fear. Let them wonder how you did it. This is it. The moment everything changes. You stand at the edge of a decision that will define the rest of your life. Will you stay where you are, trapped in the cycle of reaction, doubt, and fear? Or will you step forward and take control, not just of today, but of every day that follows? The choice is simple, but the path is not easy. That is what makes it worth it. True power, real strength, is never handed to you. It is earned through sweat, through struggle, through an unyielding refusal to break. This is the moment you decide whether you will remain a puppet or become the one who holds the strings. Look around you. The world is full of chaos, full of people who will try to bend you, break you, and push you down. But here is the truth they do not want you to realize. They only have power over you if you allow it. Their words, their judgments, their games. None of it matters if you choose to rise above it. Silence their noise, not with words, but with your actions. You have the power to rewrite your story, to become someone they never saw coming, someone they cannot control, cannot manipulate, and cannot ignore. But to do that, you must let go of the excuses, the fears, and the doubts. You must stand tall and claim what is yours, your strength, your freedom, your life. The world does not respect the weak. It respects those who refuse to stay down. Think of the times you have fallen, the times you have been hurt, the times you thought you could not go on. You are still here. Do you understand what that means? It means you have already won battles you thought were impossible. It means you are stronger than you realize. It means you are ready for more. Now, imagine this. You walk into any situation with calm, unshakable confidence. Your emotions do not control you. You control them. Your fear does not stop you. It drives you. Your pain does not hold you back. It propels you forward. Every step you take is deliberate. Every decision is yours, and every outcome is something you own. That is the life waiting for you, if you are willing to claim it. And what of those who doubted you? Let them watch. Let them witness your rise, not through words, but through action. You do not need to explain yourself to anyone. You do not need to justify your decisions. Your strength will speak for itself, and when they finally see what you have become, they will either fear you, respect you, or both. This is your time. The world has tried to break you, and yet here you are, unbroken, because this is your time. The world has tried to break you, and yet here you are, unbroken. Do you know what that makes you? Dangerous. The most dangerous person is the one who has nothing to prove and everything to gain. You are that person. You are the one they underestimated, the one they dismissed. Now, You are the one they will remember. So, what will it be? Will you rise, or will you let this moment pass? Will you take control, or will you stay trapped in the same patterns, the same pain? The choice is yours. It has always been yours. Do not wait for the perfect time. Do not wait for someone to save you. Save yourself. Take the first step, and then the next, and then the one after that. Keep moving forward, no matter what. This is your life, your story, your victory. Stand up. Take control. Let the world see what happens when someone refuses to be broken. Let them see you rise.